It's December 31st, 2025. This was the year that it happened. It was the year you finally took action on the thing you kept saying you were gonna take action on and achieved that one big goal you set out for yourself. Right now, you're celebrating the big win and the new person you've become. The energy you radiate lights up everyone around you, and you just can't contain your happiness and pride for taking action on that thing. Now hold on to this feeling and think about this. Why is it that although it feels so good to imagine having achieved your biggest goals, and you start every year with so much motivation to achieve them, you find yourself writing down the same resolutions all over again? Why is it that despite all the different ways and productivity hacks you've tried in order to achieve your goals, you keep wanting and never getting the same things every year? The answer lies within the goal itself, and it's more obvious than you think. And it's so crucial that if you ignore it, you will never achieve that goal, no matter what hacks you use or how consistent you force yourself to be. First things first, if you want to achieve any of your goals this year, or any year for that matter, you have to make them tangible. You do this by simply writing them down and just picking the one that calls out to you the loudest. This one goal is the most important, most exciting, and most necessary goal to you right now. And in case you're not convinced that it helps to write down your goals, there's a study on goal setting showing that you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing them down. So yeah, write it down. Once you're absolutely sure that the one you picked is something you truly want, something that aligns with your values, and something that will make you pour thousands of hours into it, you'll want to refine your goal by making it a SMART goal. This is for you to be able to specify the details of your goal and track your progress, but doesn't have much to do with actually reaching that goal, so you don't have to obsess over this. The idea is to set milestones and solidify the actual behavior that you want to modify, instead of having wishy-washy goals. What you need to obsess over, though, is identifying what's stopping you from taking action on that goal. So let's take a look at why a goal fails. One of the biggest reasons we fail to achieve our goals is because we either underestimate or have no idea about the obstacles standing in our way. It's not that we lack the motivation to act on our goals. In fact, we're more motivated than ever to set goals for a new year, but we fail to identify the specific gaps holding us back. Not identifying these gaps and solely relying on our willpower or decision-making to reach our goals is a recipe for giving up on all of them by March. The larger these gaps between where we are and where we want to be, the more paralyzed we feel to take any action on our goals. What we need to do is to identify these gaps and create a plan to close them. For simplicity, let's break them down into two segments: knowledge gaps and resource gaps. A knowledge gap is when you don't have the tools, information, or guidance to reach your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, but you don't know how to build a sustainable workout routine or manage your nutrition, you may try fad diets or overtrain, leading to burnout or injury. Or if your goal is to start a side hustle, but you don't know how to set up a business, market your products, or manage your finances, you'll soon be overwhelmed with what you don't know and quit. Luckily, in this day and age, there are countless ways for any person to close any knowledge gap in seconds. What you need to identify is the underlying skill that defines the rest of your goal. An example for this would be storytelling for an aspiring content creator, or copywriting for an SEO agency, or music theory for a composer. Once you identify that skill, you need to learn about it very intentionally. Find pioneers in that field, trusted sources, books, podcasts, courses, and whatnot. Put this information to use, fail at it, and refine it for your use case. And most importantly, instead of drowning yourself by endless Googling, conversations with ChatGPT, and trying to learn everything, start with one actionable piece of knowledge that will allow you to take the first step, build momentum, and go from there. Think of this as your personal MVP, just like launching a product with only the core features to validate it as soon as possible.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The more mistakes you make, the wiser you'll react the next time they happen. The more you apply your learnings, the smoother your journey will become. Next, the resource gap. This is when you don't have the money, time, or energy to take action on your goals. Unlike the knowledge gap, here you know exactly what to do, but just can't get yourself to take action on your goals for one or more of these reasons. Life is busy, and big goals can feel impossible to fit into an already packed schedule. So if you're finding it difficult to make time for your goals, start by looking for blocks of dead time you can reclaim. Also, do yourself a favor and stop saying yes to obligations that don't serve your priorities, and you'll find out that a day actually has 24 hours. 25 if you're super selective. Another tip is to shrink the habits you want to build to fit your lifestyle, such as starting with a 10-minute workout instead of dedicating an hour to it right away. Committing to short bursts of consistent effort is infinitely better than waiting for the perfect conditions, says the guy who waited for years to act on his goal. If the resource you lack is not time, but you don't have the money to fund your goals, there's an extremely simple yet effective approach to control the way you spend your money, called paying yourself first. In fact, this is how I was able to save enough money to quit my job and give myself a year to chase my dreams, and hopefully make this the year that it finally happens. In my case, the money I was able to save over almost 2 years allowed me to buy some time back, so that my energy wouldn't be drained from my 9 to 5 all the time, and I could actually do something about what I always said I wanted to do. I have an entire video on how to do this and get there as fast as possible by spending with intention, so make sure to watch that if you think money is what's stopping you from achieving your goals. But even with enough time and money in your hands, you might feel too drained to go all in on your goals. Energy, more than anything else, determines how much you will actually give to your ambitions. The way I see it is there are 2 layers to controlling your energy. The first layer is auditing your energy levels and identifying what drains or recharges you. For example, staying up late smoking weed and binge-watching TV will probably leave you exhausted the next day, so you may want to review your nighttime routine if your goal is to join the 5 a.m. club. The second layer is the answer that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. It's a deal breaker in achieving any goal, yet many people don't even think about it. You have to ask yourself, does the process of achieving the goal that you set give you joy? Does it make you want to jump out of bed every morning and get to work right away? The process of achieving a goal is the reality of that goal. It's the actual life that you're going to live trying to achieve that goal. You must enjoy the process, otherwise you'll despise every second of it and quit before you know it. If you hate going to the gym, the goal of getting to your best shape will make you miserable. Force it all you want, but you'll eventually quit, which will make you feel even more miserable. You'll either have to learn how to love it or find another goal. So it's the game that is the goal. Play a game that you like, and you'll keep playing forever. Therefore, whatever goal you set will inevitably be yours. If you're not playing a game you like yet, I hope this will be the year you get to change that. Happy 2025, and I'll see you next time.